In this video, I want to give you a bit of a workshop where we're going to build an actual lead magnet that's designed to bring in first-time homebuyer leads. Hey guys, what's up? If you haven't met me yet, my name's Emmanuel. I am the founder and kind of chief talking head guy over here at Square One, where really our mission is to help you identify your expertise and then help you scale your real estate business using systems. That said, we really make these videos to help try to bring in some new business for you. So if and when you do decide to scale your business, well, you keep us in mind because we would love to work with you. Now, today I want to jam on with you about lead magnets, but more specifically, we're going to be creating a lead magnet together that is targeted toward first-time home buyers. And the goal behind this, super simple. I want to try to help bring in some new leads for you. And I'm also going to make this process super easy and free. So we got to do a couple things in order to get started. Number one, if you don't have an account yet with ChatGPT, please go ahead and pause the video and create one. I also need you to create an account with Canva. So pause the video, create those two accounts, and then go ahead and unpause and let's go ahead and get started. All right, now before we get into the good stuff and show you how to do this, I first need to explain to you some logic and the basic principles behind the lead magnet strategy. And it really starts by understanding the journey of a future home buyer and what it takes to getting them to their goal of actually purchasing their first home. So let me hop into my iPad and kind of really illustrate what I mean visually. All right, now what I'm about to explain to you here, it really applies to any type of lead that you're trying to generate. But for the sake of today and this video's example, it's really to workshop with you specifically about first-time home buyers. And the philosophy behind this is actually pretty simple. It's that every buyer goes through several steps in order to get to their goal. So if they start here and the goal of owning their home is up here, they essentially need to go through various steps. So this is step 1, step 2, and step 3. For example, there could be multiple steps, but these are just some quick example ideas or visualizations of the steps. Now, step 1 can be something like, oh, first I need to teach them, or they need to learn how to clean up their credit. And maybe step 2 is to educate them on really mortgages and mortgage loans and mortgage rates. And maybe step 3 might be to help them create some sort of budget so that they can afford either a down payment or their monthly mortgage payment. Now, this list can go on and on. There could be multiple steps to it, but what you really have to understand here is that a typical transaction tends to have very similar steps to get to said goal. And what I've laid out here is more or less probably going to be the same for most leads that you're going to be attracting and talking to. Now, here's the next big thing that you need to understand. The higher that you climb these steps, it's safe to say the higher the intent of this lead in terms of wanting to purchase. Now, here's the funny thing about intent. The higher the intent to purchase, the more expensive the lead. So if they're about ready to be on the last step of a 5-step process to purchase, you're gonna be spending a boatload of money versus if you get them when they're starting down here. So here's the thing about generating cheap leads. If we want to focus on bringing in people into our database that are maybe kind of in this section here, it's really kind of simple. All we need to do is maybe just give them a checklist or a guide of maybe cleaning up their credit or saving for a down payment, which is likely going to be a lot easier to create and to do, and it's going to start the wheels or get the wheels in motion for them to want to start getting interested in purchasing their first home. And you'll actually find that there's a lot less competition down in the bottom. But if we want to focus up here on the higher intent side of things, you're actually going to find that this is where most agents spend a lot of their time and, more importantly, their money. So when you're competing with a lot of people, that's how the cost tends to go up. And so really the goal or the play here with lead magnets or like PDF guides or checklists or things like that is that we first want to target or run ads or run marketing targeting the people lower on the intent ladder or the intent steps and get them ready to become more qualified, higher quality, higher intent buyers. Because if we do that correctly, then we've essentially created a very cheap cost per acquisition or cost per transaction or cost per new client. Okay, so I hope this is making sense so far, and if it is, in the comments section, type in intent, just so I know that it actually makes sense. All right, that's it. Let's get into the good stuff. Let's go ahead and create a lead magnet. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, and let's open up some stuff to show you how to do this. It's gonna be a really easy process. So step 1 is obviously, let's head over to ChatGPT and let's create a prompt for you. All right, now here's where the magic comes in. we're going to use the power of AI, specifically ChatGPT, to do a lot of the heavy lifting and research for us so that we can just focus on starting more conversations than creating content. Now, the key here with regards to creating lead magnets and understanding how to create value is to really understand the typical roadblocks, bottlenecks, frustrations, and fears of our perfect future client, of this lead. And we're going to use ChatGPT and AI to really generate that. So a simple prompt that we can use to figure out their roadblocks, fears, frustrations, and challenges, just ask ChatGPT.
Give me the top 10 fears, frustrations, challenges, and roadblocks for a first-time home buyer.
And hit enter, and let's see what pops out. I'm gonna fast forward through this process, by the way, because it's gonna take a little while to type out. All right, now that we've had ChatGPT create our 10 kind of ideas of roadblocks, well, let's take a look at them. Affordability, financing, location, home inspection, closing cost, home maintenance, negotiation and timing, competition, and legal process. Well, okay, this is some really good stuff. Now, we can ask ChatGPT to create more ideas, but let's just run with what we got for now, because I wanna show you how easy it is to put together a lead magnet. And the one that kind of stands out to me is location. Okay, so let's run with this. Let's ask ChatGPT to create us a checklist of the top things to consider for choosing the right location for a first-time home buyer. So let's see what comes out. Okay, so now that we have this cool checklist, let's go ahead and create the actual checklist. Now that we have the copy, let's create the checklist. So I'll head over to Canva, and I'm just gonna search for a checklist. I think this one looks easy to use.
Checklist how to find the right location for your first home purchase.
Right, something easy. You could come up with whatever you'd like for that. And from there, all you simply gotta do is, actually, let me move this here. It's just copy and paste. Determine budget. Actually, it probably makes sense to just copy the whole thing, because that'll make everything a lot easier. All right, so obviously this is kind of large. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of creative editing to make this fit. And then, all right, now I'm gonna fast forward through this so that you don't have, I'm not gonna bore you with how to do this. All right, voila, we're done. And we have just created a really awesome checklist that's gonna be useful for a future first-time home buyer. Now, from this process, all you really need to do is just now download this item, and then you can either run an ad or maybe send out an email blast, or just use it as a conversation starter when you start talking to people. Like, hey, I have this really awesome checklist that I've created. Would you love a copy of it? It's really designed to help first-time homebuyers find their perfect location. All right, so I hope you found what I did in this whole strategy super simple and very powerful, because you can find a ton of value off of just really identifying what the common frustrations and fears and roadblocks are, or challenges are of your perfect client, and then just use ChatGPT and Canva to create an asset and then start promoting the asset. Anyway, if you want to jam on more about this, we got some really awesome stuff and talk about it on a regular basis inside of our Facebook group, leaving the link in the description below. But aside from that, I hope you found some value, and if you did, check out this video right here. Bye for now.